I like that. So the cat's away. I don't know about you, but when Daddy was gone when I was a teenager, things happened. Let's see what we can do. All right, let's rock. So, I want to start out with a quote. Everything is energy, and that's all there is to it. Match the frequency of the reality you want, and you cannot help but get that reality. It can be no other way. This is not philosophy. This is physics. And that was said by Albert Einstein. So, you could applaud for Albert Einstein. So, who feels like they're having a little trouble matching their frequencies to the frequency of the reality they desire? Do I hear an I? Yeah. Happens, huh? Well, I know the answer. And, but I want to ask a few questions first. And these are questions that you don't need to answer. In fact, please don't answer out loud. Because my talk is long enough. Do you believe you can draw everything and everyone you need to yourself, to your life? When your heart and intention points you in a certain constructive direction, do you go with it? Or do you doubt and falter when the proof doesn't seem to be in the pudding? Do you put a time limit on manifestation? Do you know what it feels like when your belief is solid? Here's a big question. Do you truly believe? Do you truly believe in those promises we say at the beginning of the service? Do you truly believe in what we believe? Or do you spend time arguing for your lack and your pain and your resistance, your garbage? Like Einstein, science has the answer. I'm warning you right now that when this happens, you are suffering from truth decay. Now, of course, I looked this up on the internet because, you know, everything on the internet is true, except for my birth date. Truth decay is the process that results in a cavity or hole in the experience of a positive, fun, abundant, loving, healthy, and prosperous life. It occurs when bacteria enters the mind, making acidic thoughts that eat away of remembering who and what you are. Now, does that sound familiar? Have you? Thank you. Have you had a few truth cavities, or maybe you're suffering right now from a few truth cavities? Well, let's move on to the causes and the risk factors of truth cavities. Now, truth decay is a common disorder second only to nothing. It is the most common of disorders. And it usually occurs in those that buy into the news or the gossip around the water cooler or any of those self-defeating, lack-filled negative junk that they were taught by their parents or teachers or friends or politician or clergy, except for me. Now, during times of negative, faithless, and loveless thinking, what happens is an invasive bacteria, seeps into the mind and changes your thoughts, changes the perception of what you're experiencing, what you're seeing in life, especially joyous and prosperous thoughts. And it changes those into acids of lack and limitation. Anybody have any of that? Bacterial acids called fear, shame, blame, guilt combine in the mind to form a sticky substance called plaque. Now, plaque sticks to your belief system. It most commonly attaches to your core beliefs, especially those core beliefs you learned in childhood that may not serve you so well. Loves those core beliefs, plaque. It has the unique ability to attack just above that clarity line. You know, when you think I'm clear in my thoughts, I'm clear about my prosperity and whatever's going on, and right below that line, it eats it away, all the thoughts and beliefs you had, especially at the edge of those new thoughts that you're trying to incorporate, working on, putting into your belief system. Plaque that is not removed from the mind turns into a substance called tartar. Now, tartar is nice with fish, but bad with truth. Plaque and tartar irritate the thoughts and beliefs, resulting in continued illness, pain, crisis, sadness, depression. Oh, I can't say any more, I'm going to get depressed. The acids in plaque and tartar damage the enamel that covers your belief system, that covers the truth. And this plaque and tartar create holes in your perception of the truth. And those holes are called cavities. Usually they don't hurt at first. You may not even notice them. You may not know that you have a cavity in your truth. But slowly, sometimes not so slowly, those holes grow very large, and they affect your nervous system, your emotions, your experiences, your body, just your life in general. And that is when you start having a truth fracture. Now, untreated cavities can lead to a truth abscess. Now, a truth abscess destroys the insides of the thoughts. It really gets right in there, above and beyond your clarity line. It goes right into the pulp of your truth and your thoughts. And that leads to prosperity loss, and boy, does all hell start to break loose. So what do? Well, one thing you want to avoid is wishful thinking. Another thing you want to avoid is affirmations said by rote. Things are getting better, things are getting better, things are getting better, things are getting better. You're not listening to yourself. You're hearing that teacher in Charlie Brown. Also avoid any thoughts that are beyond your ability to accept. Looking for better finances in your life? You know what? If you can't see $45 trillion in your bank account, don't try to work on $45 trillion. Maybe start with $45 and work your way up. Any of those things you want to avoid because they increase the risk of truth decay. Also, you want to avoid frequent sticky ideas because they're more harmful than the fleeting non-sticky ideas because they remain on the mind. Those things you keep hearing, you start hearing yourself say not so great things about yourself. You got to catch them. You got to grab them. You got to throw them out because they'll stick. The more you say them in your head every day, every hour, every week, the more they're going to stick in your head. Also, you want to stop snacking on negative lack-filled ideas because they increase the time that these acids are in contact with your mind, like I said. So they start eating away at your truth. They start bringing plaque and tartar and cavities and fractures and abscesses in your truth. Some of the symptoms, do I need to remind you of the symptoms? Some of you might be suffering from them now. I want to find another word other than suffering, but that's what came up. Some of you might be suffering from some of these symptoms right now. You might have a pain or an icky feeling about life. You might have doubt. You might be feeling powerless, hopeless, intimidated, frustrated, ineffective, depressed. You might be seeing visible pits or holes in your bank account. You might be having doubt. You might be having irritated relationships at home or at work, or just a general physical malaise. Did I mention that you might be having doubt? Those are the symptoms when you know that truth decay is coming, or truth decay is here. And it's time to change your perspective. It's time to take action. So what's the treatment? What's the prevention of truth decay? That's the title of the talk, Preventing Truth Decay. So how do we do that? Well, mental hygiene is necessary to prevent cavities. I don't want you guys to get ahead of me. Brush your thoughts. You knew that was coming. Brush your thoughts all the time because they will remove the topical negative ideas, especially those fleeting ones and the ones that kind of start getting not so fleeting. You want to brush your thoughts all the time. You, of course, want to floss your mind at least once a day so you can get in between all those thoughts that do not serve you. Now, of course, the best known process for prevention is treatment. Treatment is the time, process, and method necessary to the changing of our thought. It is the clearing of negative doubt and fear, causing it to perceive the ever-presence of God. The science, treatment is a science of consciously inducing thought with truth. That prevents the bacteria from ever reaching damage. Now, other methods are fillings of affirmations. Now, I don't mean just affirmations like I was saying, oh, everything's great, oh my gosh, everything's great, because it turns into that. But when you back an affirmation with feeling, did I tell you about when I had the kidney stone? And oh yeah, I did. There was a point I was saying a couple of weeks ago about that I didn't feel that my treatment work while in pain was helpful. I wasn't believing myself, and there came a point the day before it went away where I got a little angry, not at myself, just at this situation, this thing that came into my life. And boy, did that fuel my treatments. It fueled my treatments to tell it definitively to get out of my body. Those are the kind of feelings and emotions, strong ones, definite ones, that if you back those affirmations with those kind of feelings, they have an effect. Inspirational readings is another method coming to service. Being of service, meditation, walks on the beach are nice for preventing and curing truth decay. Watching the sunset, getting in the car and driving to the Grand Canyon. You look at the Grand Canyon and you see the truth, the power of who and what you are. Or the pyramids, although you can't get in the car and get to the pyramids. Or another method is to call a practitioner at the first signs of truth ache. You also want to avoid constant sipping of sugary, rose-colored ideas or frequent sucking on the news, the gossip, or Aunt Ethel's problems. Now, if extensive truth decay with limited truth structure and mental weakness is found, what we need to do then is add crowns. Anybody ever had a crown? Of abundance, prosperity, faith, peace, joy, and love be received by opening yourself to the healing light from a revealing circle, from friends, family, from our community here. Because that kind of mental work, along with your mental work, is going to eradicate that decay. Now, nerve damage sometimes can happen. It can lead to that. You don't get to it quick enough. You don't get to it definitively enough. Nerve damage. You could be in the middle of crisis, maybe. You could be having seemingly irresolvable feelings. When that happens, I'm very sorry to tell you, but at that point, you're going to need a root canal of faith. Now, a root canal of faith is performed best by a licensed practitioner who will, one, recognize this truth, the truth you've forgotten, who will, two, unify that truth with you, as you, for you, who will, three, reveal the decayed portion of the beliefs and thoughts you're having, that pulp of the condition, and remove and replace that with your awareness and your mental help with clear, definite knowing of the truth. Then four, along with you, they will heal. They will fill and seal all of this with a crown of forgiveness and gratitude. Two big things: forgiveness and gratitude. And finally, number five, they'll top off the session by releasing you, by releasing that truth, by releasing that knowing into that power that is bigger than everything. So what's the prognosis here? Well, daily spiritual practice prevents truth decay, of course. And early treatment, conscious paying forward, which spiritual practice does, it pays you forward. So if you are in a crisis kind of condition, you having paid forward, your perception is going to be different. It's going to help you get through it much quicker. Conscious paying forward is less painful, less expensive, and less time consuming. Now, you may need some medicine, like a day off. Take it. Or, if things get really bad, you might need a prescription. And as a licensed minister of New Thought, I can prescribe to you now and forevermore, if such you need it, chocolate. Now, I want to warn you that nitric oxide or other intoxications or numbing chemicals do not enhance and may hinder treatment. So be careful of any intoxications that you think might help you get through any crisis. There is a tendency to feel burdened with the past. I understand that. I've had a few of those. Our feelings, our mistakes, our troubles, they can hold on. They can dig in. They can kind of be in that pulp somehow. But they have only the power that you give them. Otherwise, they're just a stored memory. It's old news. They have no reality except the reality you choose to give them. Dr. Holmes said, "We should come daily to the Spirit of goodness for a complete washing away of all mistakes, fears, and troubles. It is scientific to consciously let go of all troubles and errors, feeling that they no longer affect them. False ideas do not pay. Turn all that hurts to the great light, to that power of powers, to that divine intelligence. Forgive those old stories and regain that unending faith, like the song says, that radiant faith." That song was written by Ricky Byers Beckwith, and I want to remind you a few of the lyrics. "No things too high, no scattered dreams. Every valley shall be exalted. And even if you fall, a radiant faith keeps you strong and it gives you the courage to stay. But you got to do the work. I am sure, I am calm, that all is well, blooming on the highway with my God, with your God, with our God. Forgive yourself and get back to that radiant faith." A few weeks ago, I saw something. I forgot who sent it or who put it up on Facebook. A gentleman named Daniel Votino wrote this, and I believe he's a songwriter of some sort. And he says, "Today I woke up and I was everything I wanted to be. I forgave myself of everything that had ever made me feel ashamed. I loved everyone everywhere, even those who hurt me. I sent love to those who have lost their way. I wasn't afraid of anything anymore. I realized I was endowed with all the power of the universe to think, to feel, create, and to love all that I had created. I reveled in the realization that this is the sum total of all I have intended for myself to date. And I realized that right now is the only moment that ever really is, was, or will be. I knew that all my past, except for what was good, was gone. I made a pact with myself never to forget, to hold this feeling as if it were a little child. For indeed, it was." I want to talk to that little child in you. And I don't mean to be insulting, because we're all adults. We're all intelligent. But I want to talk to that 6-year-old. And I want to tell you that there is a power for good in the universe. This power is so massive, so big, so everything, that we can't even see what it has created in the universe with magnification, and we have some great magnification. It is so powerful, so massive, so divine that we cannot see some of the subatomic particles that make up everything, even with the fabulous magnification that we have now. It is so powerful. It has created everything. This, these, you, me. This power is in each and every one of you. And it has given you not only access to the infinite possibilities of the universe, but it has given it to you individually, specially, uniquely, unlike anything or anyone else, anywhere. You get to choose what to use, what to do with this power. And I don't care if you're 6. I don't care if you're 16. I don't care if you're 106. Everything starts now. I don't care if your bank account is huge or in negative numbers. Everything starts now. I don't care if you're in perfect health or if you perceive that something is wrong with you physically. Everything begins now. I don't care if you have the perfect job, the perfect career, the perfect mate, or not. Everything begins now. There is a power for good in the universe, and you get to use it. You get to choose your best life. The God in me sees, blesses, and joyously embodies with you the God in you. Have at it. Namaste. Thank you.